A man shot to death in Rockford over the weekend is identified. His suspected killer is behind bars.
Plus, the state line community working to clean its water of forever chemicals and new systems planned by the village of Rockton.
And a Christmas couple reminds us about the true spirit of the season, the valuable gift that costs nothing to give.
Live from WTVO 17. This is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Wendell Edwards. We thank you for being here.
We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first, a car crash in Rockford leaves at least one person injured.
So this happened near North Meridian and Trashbridge Roads late this afternoon. The Winnebago County Sheriff's Office is asking people just to avoid this area right now. You can see the road is blocked by several emergency vehicles. Our crew on the scene saw a medical helicopter arrive. We are still working to learn more about this crash, and we'll bring you details as we get it.
The Rockford man shot and killed over the weekend has now been identified. Terry Noel was found lying on Buckby Street near Blackhawk Courts early Sunday morning. The 35-year-old had been shot multiple times. He was taken to the hospital but died. ShotSpotter alerted officers to the shooting just after 1 a.m. Police say Levontre Vaughn is behind the shooting. The 25-year-old is now accused of first-degree murder. Vaughn is in the Winnebago County Jail.
A Rockford woman suspected of setting a fire to an apartment building is reportedly now a fugitive. Sonia Rogers was included in today's Rockford Area Crime Stoppers Bulletin of Wanted Suspects. She was charged with arson from earlier this year. In fact, in April, fire officials were called to Olson Plaza on Church Street. A fire was contained to one apartment. Court records claim Rogers set her husband's apartment on fire. She was found unfit to stand trial in October, but she has since missed several court hearings. Crime Stoppers offering a reward of up to $1,000 for any information that leads to the arrest of Rogers.
The federal government is calling on Illinois to honor arrest detainers for criminal aliens in state prisons. DHS says this applies to more than 4,000 people. An ICE detainer is a formal request to local and state law enforcement to hold someone for up to 48 hours beyond their release date or notify ICE of the release. But Illinois law prevents agencies in the state from cooperating with federal immigration officials. State officials say the purpose is to build trust between police and migrants living in Illinois. ICE says it's resulted in the release of more than 1,700 criminal aliens. As part of today's appeal, DHS announced the arrest of Amilcar Waldo Gonzalez Jimenez from Mexico. They say he was arrested by ICE in Rockford last month. According to ICE, a detainer for Gonzalez Jimenez was ignored by local law enforcement. Federal officials say he has been convicted of multiple charges, including sexual assault, but Winnebago County court records show no charges against him locally.
The village of Rockton tonight working to provide cleaner, chemical-free water for its residents. The village plans to install new systems to tackle a chemical issue.
Eyewitness News reporter Rico Holland gives us details on how the village plans to get it done. Rico?
So Mimi, Wendell, the village is looking to remove a high levels of a human-made chemical in their wells called PFAS. This comes after the village recently detected high levels of the contaminant in one of its wells. Village Administrator Happy Welch tells me over $100,000 has been invested into solving the problem. They plan to test 2 unique systems to target and reduce the levels of the substance in the village's water.
It's important that we do this. It's important for our residents to feel comfortable and safe with their water, with the water drinking system. So I think this is just another way that we can show folks that we believe in the importance of this and the importance of having a quality water system.
And coming up at 6, hear from local businesses and the impact clean, chemical-free water will make. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Rico. A U.S. Congressman from Illinois was in Rockford today to highlight the importance of local businesses.
Representative Eric Sorensen stopped by Benny's Cleaners. He met with the owner to discuss how he can address the issues facing Rockford area entrepreneurs. The Democratic lawmaker visit comes amid calls from city leaders to shop local this holiday season following the recent reduction of Stroll on State. The owner says supporting local businesses helps the whole community.
Local business is vitally important to our local economy. Without the local businesses employing so many people and providing services throughout the local area, we would really be in a bad situation. And Rockford has a pretty strong local business core.
Benny's Cleaners has been operating locally for 8 decades. Representative Sorensen also visited Rockford Rescue Mission today. We'll hear about that visit coming up tonight at 6. Gas prices continue to drop this week. According to Gas Buddy, the average cost is $2.87 a gallon in Rockford this week. That sits below the national average of $2.90. Experts predict prices will remain low heading into the new year. You can find a map of most stations in the area and their prices on our website, mystateline.com.
The holidays are here, but for many, they can feel just as stressful as they are joyful. While spending time with friends and family is important during the holidays, a Cleveland Clinic psychologist says we can't forget to set time aside for ourselves. Taking a moment to do something you enjoy can go a long way in sparking some holiday cheer rather than stress. And just because something's been a tradition doesn't mean you can't try something different for your peace of mind.
I think it's important to remember that you have a choice about what you do for the holidays, and just because something should be done a certain way or has always been done a certain way does not mean you can't do something new, do something different, make a new tradition.
Planning ahead this time of year is also key to reducing stress. Leave early for travel and avoid last-minute shopping when possible.
Local Blood Center had some annual special guests today. Santa and Mrs. Claus stopped by the Rock River Valley Blood Center. The two visit the nonprofit every year to make a blood donation. It's part of the organization's efforts to encourage community members to give blood. In the winter months, the need remains high.
There's snow all over the ground, there's ice, there's more storms where there's more car accidents, there's more incidents where people need blood. So the demand for blood goes up this time of year, while at the same time we don't have as many blood donors giving that blood that people need. So this is the time of year that if you haven't given blood in a while, we really need you to come back in and donate, because you're saving lives. All the blood stays local. You could be saving somebody you know.
Throughout the month, anyone who donates to the Blood Center will be entered into a drawing to win prizes.
If there's a remarkable woman in your life, we want to know about her. Tell us her story by nominating her. If she becomes one of the 125 extraordinary women selected as finalists, she'll be treated to a celebration in Nashville. Scan the QR code there on your screen or go to our website, mystateline.com, and find the Community tab. The White House announces assistance for struggling farmers.
When we come back, the relief plans to alleviate the impacts of federal tariff policy.
Temperatures got all the way down to 7 here this morning, but we made it up to 21 this afternoon thanks to a little bit of sunshine, but not a lot of warmth. Our below average trend continues, along with a little bit more wintry weather when we could see our next round move in. All coming up in the forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
President Trump says he's turning tariffs into relief for U.S. farmers.
The president announced a $12 billion aid package today. $11 billion will go to farmers who grow row crops and $1 billion for specialty growers. The president says the money will come from the steep tariffs his administration has imposed on goods imported from around the world. Farmers won't see the aid, though, until the end of February. But the president today says today's announcement will help them plan.
This relief will provide much needed certainty to farmers as they get this year's harvest to market and look ahead to next year's crops, and it'll help them continue their efforts to lower food prices for American families.
The president is trying to help soybean farmers who have especially struggled because China had been their largest buyer. But in October, China's president promised to buy 12 million metric tons by the end of the year. So far, they've hit about a quarter of that. The U.S. Supreme Court appearing to open to expanding the president's power to fire board members of independent federal agencies.
The case before the High Court focused on President Trump's decision to fire Federal Trade Commission board member Rebecca Slaughter without cause. A 90-year-old Supreme Court decision limited the executive branch's power to fire board members of independent agencies. The Supreme Court's conservative majority appeared receptive to the White House's arguments to overturn it. But the court's liberal justices warned that it could concentrate too much power in the executive branch. A decision is expected sometime this spring. More wintry weather is expected in the state line this week.
Coming up, Candace will tell us what the rest of our evening could look like in her forecast. Next. Now,
your first warn weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, it's quiet but cold out there this evening. A live look with our SkyTrack camera here up in Beloit. We've got mostly cloudy skies. From that, we could see a couple of flurries come down here over the next couple of hours with a quick moving system that'll bypass us to the north, but maybe just enough to allow a few flurries or a light snow shower to come down. 20 our temperature right now in Freeport, 18 in Rockford, 21 in Janesville, 19 right now in Monroe and Sterling. But when you factor in the little breeze, it feels more like the low teens and even the single digits. 16 for our weather watcher Terry down in Genoa. Relatively calm wind, very, very dry with that dew point temperature sitting at 9. 19 this last hour for our weather watcher Kevin out in Lena, and a light northwesterly wind now at 9 miles per hour. We did manage to see some sunshine throughout the day today, which was nice, but the cloud cover has moved back in. This ahead of that Clipper system. You can see some of those lighter snow showers there moving through central and southern Minnesota. Like I said, most of that is going to pass us to the north, but a few flurries after about 8-9 o'clock tonight, and maybe even a brief light snow shower or two can't be completely ruled out, but I think impacts from that will be fairly minimal. A dusting maybe at most to a couple tenths of an inch of snowfall, primarily to the north of us. If we do see a dusting, it would be here across northern Illinois. Now, the one thing we do have to keep an eye on going into tomorrow morning is the potential for a little freezing drizzle. It's a low chance at that, but it's there because we lose some of the moisture, but we have just enough that we could see some freezing drizzle during the pre-dawn hours tomorrow. So if we do, there is the risk that there could be a couple of slick spots there very early tomorrow. Temperatures are actually going to be climbing through the morning, so we're at our lowest point here this evening, and then with the southerly wind and the cloud cover, temperatures will climb through the low 20s. Most of our Tuesday is going to be dry. It'll be a slow warm up throughout the day. I think we do reach the low 30s at some point late into the afternoon. But our next Clipper system, this one has a little more oomph to it than the one that's passing us tonight. So what do I mean by that? Well, it could bring us a bit more of a potential for some mixed precipitation, and with that, some freezing rain potential too. So let's look at this as we go through Tuesday late afternoon. Here's that precip, the snow, the rain, and even a little bit of freezing rain or a rain-snow mix. Now, what do I mean by freezing rain? Well, we've got temperatures that are warming. So yes, above, we warm above freezing. So a few thousand feet above, our temperature is above freezing. And even though it shows these numbers sitting above freezing, our ground and surface temperatures are below freezing. We've been in a pretty cold spell here as of late, and we've got a pretty deep snowpack on the ground. So temperatures aloft may be warming, but there's going to be a lag down here at the surface. So even if we see rain showing up on radar and falling, remember freezing rain isn't frozen when it falls. It's in the liquid form and then freezes on contact when it comes into a surface that's below 32 degrees. That could very well be the case going into late tomorrow afternoon. And the best chance for that, I think, is going to be after about 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow up until about 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow evening. Now, also mixed in with that, we could see a little more rain snow mix, or even the potential for just kind of a slushy wet snow there in southern Wisconsin, and maybe even right close to the state line as we look into tomorrow evening. On the back side of that, colder air does come in. There's going to be some wind-whipped snow showers then early Wednesday, which could drop that visibility down for the Wednesday morning commute before temperatures will gradually fall through Wednesday. Winds will be upwards of around 35 to maybe even 40 miles per hour, at least on the front end of our Wednesday. Temperatures will actually be dropping through the afternoon. We've got another cold snap coming in. Look at that, 9 on Saturday, and even the potential for a couple more snow showers, especially late Friday and then going again Saturday into early Sunday.
Thank you, Candace.
Scott's next with sports.
Packers have bragging rights at least for 2 weeks on the Bears, and they're already looking ahead to the rematch.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
Well, I think the Bears-Packers game yesterday left us all wanting more. Fortunately, the rematch is less than 2 weeks away at Soldier Field. So the Packers flip ahead of the Bears into first place in the NFC North, and Matt LaFleur feels a little vindicated, having taken the first game in the series over Ben Johnson after Johnson remarked early this year how much he enjoyed defeating LaFleur twice a year with the Lions. You can see from that video clip that LaFleur was overjoyed with the win as he ran off the field. LaFleur, though, downplayed what it meant to him personally with reporters. He just wanted to look forward.
I mean, it is what it is. Like, you just got to move on to the next game. I don't think you can focus on anything other than that. Football is an emotional game, especially when you talk about Packers-Bears.
Next up for the Packers, the Broncos. Next up for the Bears this Sunday, the Browns and Shedeur Sanders. Browns coach Kevin Stefanski ended any doubt about that today when he told reporters in Cleveland that Sanders will start the Browns' remaining 4 games. Yesterday, Sanders threw 3 touchdown passes and he ran for a 4th, but the Browns still lost to the Titans. We got Monday Night Football coming your way tonight here on WTVO. A pair of 8-4 teams. The Eagles against the Chargers. Kickoff is at 7:15. It is still very much college football season down in Normal, where the ISU Redbirds are the talk of the FCF playoffs. They stunned number 1 seed North Dakota State last Saturday, coming from behind for a 29-28 win. Former Dupec standout Jake Anderson had this strip fumble and recovery that gave the Redbirds the ball back and a shot at the win with just over 2 minutes to play. There are other local ties on the Redbirds. Harlem graduate Ben Blacks, an assistant coach, and Rockford East graduate Brock Spack, of course, is the head coach of the Redbirds. He says his guys believe they could win that game.
They felt like they can beat them, and they didn't want this game slipping away. Statistically, the game was really dominated by one team, but I think they believed that we could score enough points and we could stop them to win the game, and they were right.
This Saturday, the Redbirds will take on 8th-ranked UC Davis in California. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Before we go, NASA has completed its most advanced space telescope to date, the Nancy Grace Roman Observatory.
The telescope contains 2 cutting-edge technologies. One's a powerful infrared camera called a wide-field instrument. The other is a coronagraph that will take pictures of distant exoplanets by blocking light from nearby stars. Officials at NASA called this a defining moment for the agency. The telescope could launch aboard SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket as early as fall of next year.
Wow.
Very exciting.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see.
Yeah, some things from that. We've got perhaps some lighter snow from some flurries here later this evening, and then the potential for some freezing rain, a brief period of that late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. You can track it all with the First Warn interactive radar on mystateline.com. Temperatures will be dropping here through tonight. We'll gradually warm into the low 30s tomorrow, and then really getting cold by the weekend.
Oh, thanks, Kim.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you at 6.